Okay, welcome back to Bridging the Gap. I'm here with Pastor Howard Travers, who's running for a school board in District 3 here in Wycomico County.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Pastor Travers, for sitting down with us. We're actually out here at early voting right now, and I've actually had an opportunity to sit down with him, and I want to know a little bit more about you, the man.
Me, the man?
Yes.
Okay. I was born, reared, and raised right here in Wycomico County.
Uh-huh.
I attended Wycomico County schools.
Uh-huh.
And then after that, I went into education in the Christian school sector. Worked in Christian school settings, two various Christian schools in our area.
Nice.
For 8 years.
Okay.
And then went and achieved my degrees in Master of Arts and Master of Divinity. And,
Wow.
yeah, so then came back and to Wycomico County. And I love our county, I love our city, and some folks ask, well, why are you running? Because those are the reasons.
Well, first of all, I want to say I love your spirit. You seem to have a spirit that just loves people.
I do.
I actually ran into you at the hospital when I was visiting somebody. So you do something over to the hospital as well?
I do. Just newly accepted a lead chaplain position at Palliative Care at the hospital, and have been working as a chaplain at the hospital for 6 years.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. So what is that in detail? It's like just meeting with families and talking with them, having the more difficult conversations about end of life and goals of care. Sure.
Which many families are faced with, unfortunately, and are receiving unfortunate news in the hospital.
Right.
And not really knowing where to go from there, what decisions to make. And so one of my many jobs there is to help facilitate some discussion with the patient family, to discuss goals of care and discuss those with primary physician and other members of the care team, clinical care team. And so those are important discussions to have.
Right. So you're also a pastor. You actually have a church that you're pastoring as well.
I do.
Okay. So how does that, how do you think that would equip you to work with kids in the school system?
Well, having worked in Christian school settings before, obviously, and working with people, all types of people in various settings, obviously, in this role, in this position, you have to be able to work well with people who either believe like you or don't believe like you. Maybe they don't hold the same values as you hold.
Wow.
But be able to have discussion, open, constructive discussion and input, and to learn from each other, and then to navigate a course together.
Nice.
And that's kind of been my philosophy throughout my life.
Right.
Working with people.
So you have a servant. I mean, this is a servant's heart.
Exactly. Well,
I
thank
love
you.
that.
I appreciate that.
No. Well, I can just see that. Now, I do want to ask this though. You're running in a newly formed minority district, and of course, some people will say, "Well, he's a minority district, and you seem that your tan's not as dark as mine." But does that really matter to you?
It doesn't matter, because regardless of the melatonin in your skin, people are people. And if you cut us, we both bleed, and we bleed red. And so because of that, I'm not a person who sees color. I was an assistant or associate pastor in an all African American congregation for 8 years. And so I got to understand the culture a little better, and hopefully they got to understand me a little better.
Sure.
And we had one goal and one purpose, and that was, of course, to honor and worship God.
Right.
Who definitely doesn't see color.
He definitely does not do that. And and I thank him for saying that, because when we think of minority, I've talked to others that is running for different seats in the minority district. It seems to be separated between white and black. And really, like a lot of times, minority is a mindset.
Exactly.
It's a mindset. Now, you deal with conflict, because end of life and dealing with things like that as a chaplain, that's a serious matter.
Right.
And then as a pastor, So now, if you do the same thing on a school board, would you be able to juggle all that together?
I believe so. Yes.
You know,
and you know, it's definitely a time commitment, and of course, I want to give myself to that, and I want to give myself to the people that I serve within my district.
Right.
You know, as I've been door to door and talking with people, I've said to them, tell me your story. I want to hear. You have school-age children in the public school system in Wycomico County. I want to hear your story.
Right.
I want to hear your successes. I want to hear your frustrations.
Right.
I want to hear what do you think we can change? What needs to change? And resoundingly, I hear a lot of frustration, and people feeling not heard. And
that's important to be heard.
Exactly. And so it's my job to be able to hear what you have to say, and to not just hear, but to listen to what, because there's a difference in what you're saying, and then take that information and see what I can do with that to help benefit your situation, to help benefit your family and your children. I want to help make Wycomico County Public Schools the envy of other school districts around us.
Like that.
You know,
Beautiful.
so often I hear, you know, of others who say, well, you know, the school system's so much better in this county or so much better in that county. Well, why can't we have that in our county? Why can't we be the envy of other counties? And I believe we have the potential to be able to do that. We just have to come together as one in unified hearts and minds and spirits and move in the same direction, not in opposition to one another, and not citing the obstacles, because the obstacles are always obvious, right?
Right.
So let's move beyond that then, and let's have some productive discussion about what we can do to help move forward, and to move the county forward, not just to move ourselves forward, but help to move the county in the right direction, move forward, with less government overreach. You know, the government shouldn't be raising our children. Parents should be raising their children.
It should be up to the parents.
So then, and from what I've heard from those that work in social service and juvenile services and others, I've heard we've got to get the parents more involved. And how do we get the parents more involved? What measures do we need to take to get the parents more involved? But not just to get the parents more involved. It's easy to say that, but how can we help the parents in their skill set to be able to help teach and instruct their children and to feel like they're making progress?
I like that.
You know, in one particular agency, excuse me, that I talked with, they said it's great to have all these programs, but we're dealing with families that have transportation issues. So it's great to say, here's a wonderful program over here, but if you have a family over here that has transportation issues, they can't get to where these wonderful programs are. So how do we bridge that gap?
How do we do that?
How do we do that? How do we get them to the resources that they need to help empower them to be better parents?
And ultimately to be leaders in society.
Leaders in society. I believe it was Abraham Lincoln who said, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. And so there's a lot that can be said about that short statement.
Sure.
But, and so if we can empower families, I believe that they'll stand and say, hey, you know what, I've got the skill set. The government doesn't need to raise my children. Wait a minute, I gave birth to these children. I can help educate them. I can help give them the skills that they need. I can feel confident about my abilities to be able to do that. And helping there to be less government hand in that process.
Hand in that, absolutely.
Right.
See, that's what I like to hear. There's somebody who really wants to put the power of parenting back into the parents' hand. Now, as a pastor, you deal with families.
Right.
So you've seen some of the struggles. Now, I've done several interviews with the executive of the Christian shelter who has to deal with the homeless, which kids that are homeless, they have a lot more they deal with than just their education in school.
Right.
How would you deal with kids having to go through that, like having to go through a place that they have no house and then come into an environment of other kids that can be kind of mean sometimes?
Exactly. And once you help them meet those immediate needs, then we can go on past that. It's pointless for me to talk to you about some other issue or some other concern when you're sitting in front of me and you're hungry. You haven't had breakfast.
Come on now. Right.
And you know, we're nearing the time, when school's out, and a lot of kids are excited about being out for summer, while other children are saying, wait a minute, where am I going to eat? Where's my next meal going to come from?
Wow.
You know,
wow.
And nothing is more important to them in that moment. You know, if I could use the illustration of Jesus, who had a great...
Sure. I love talking about Jesus.
Yeah. Before, oftentimes, Jesus got into other heavier subjects, he often fed the people. And
always took care of need
always
first.
Take care of that hunger need first.
I love that, yeah.
And so, to meet those immediate needs on that hierarchy of need structure, and then we can talk more about what other things we can do to help support you and help support your family as a unit.
Sure.
And to bring you together.
Now, thank you. That's a very good answer to that question. I want to actually ask you about safety in schools, where we've seen a lot of things happen. I mean, some of the things that happened just in the last school year and how it just escalated. I do know that there's been a new thing that came down from Annapolis. I think it'll start in this next school year, where the cell phones and stuff will be taken away. Kudos. For once, Annapolis actually did something that I agree with. How do you think we need to handle school safety going forward?
There's a lot of measures I think that we could put in place. Some of those measures come with high price tags. Those, of course, being electronic scanners and so forth. And those things, though they come with a high price tag, there's no greater price tag than a person's life. So we need to help protect life and protect those schools, and to the best of our abilities. I think we've come a long way. Sure. And helping make progress in those areas.
Sure.
And I think some of the progress that we're making, these initiatives, I think they're good starts. And I think let's have some more discussion about how else can we help make our schools safer for our students, for our staff, for our teachers. How can we do that without our public school systems looking like a penitentiary?
Well, and thank you. Now, I have another concern. I've noticed, like, within this last, I actually did a segment on this, within this last 10 years or so, we've had a lot of incidents in our school system where the teachers have been in questionable situations. There has been more recently one person that actually had been reprimanded back in 2016 when we had been in a questionable area picking up a prostitute, and under Maryland State Police records, and then somehow I was back in the school system, and then something happened this year. What can we do better to screen these situations, make sure this doesn't happen and somebody get back out there?
And there, we have to look at that screening process. What does that actually look like? And how far back are we going? And what records are we actually looking into? And there should be absolutely no tolerance. If that's questionable behavior, and it is, and if it jeopardizes our children, if it jeopardizes the safety, the security, the well-being of our school, its environment, then those individuals need to find employment elsewhere.
Absolutely. Again, as Whitney Houston says, I believe that children are our future.
They are.
And how we invest now is it's going to be investing in our tomorrow.
Exactly.
Before we close out here, and I thank you for sitting here with us, just tell the audience here why you would be a good fit for the school board in today's climate.
I'm a good fit for the Wycomico County School Board in District 3. Number one, because I'm a product of Wycomico County Schools. Also, because I've taught, though it be in the private sector, I have taught in school settings. Obviously, as a pastor, I have contact with young people and families, and I believe I understand the heart of our community and the heart of our city, and for me, it's less government overreach, and it's empowering parents and families with the skills, with the tools, with the resources, whatever they need to be productive parents, and for us to be a model that others around our state can look to and say, look what Wycomico County is doing. And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing.
Phenomenal. We're looking forward to sitting down with you more.
Yes.
Because you do so many different things. We didn't comment on it during the actual interview, but you said you actually do a nonprofit. Would you like to say a little bit about that before we get off? Because I think that was actually an awesome thing you do.
Sure. Witness International is a ministry 501c3 organization that founded back in 1992. And we work with incarcerated individuals and individuals transitioning back into the community to be able to get back on their feet and to help put them in touch with resources to make them productive members of our community and society again, to not add to that recidivism rate.
That's awesome. Thank you, Pastor Travers. Again, Pastor Howard Travers for School Board, District 3. This is Bridging the Gap. Have a great one.